Can you tell us exactly what Homegrown is?
Homegrown is a outlet for local talent, generally unsigned, uh, to have their music played on the radio through WBAB Monday through Friday, and then Wednesday nights live in the club, the Downtown.
And how long have you been producing Homegrown with WBAB in downtown?
Well, Homegrown started on BAB over 20 years ago. I took it over about a year and a half ago, and we started doing the Downtown live format, probably about 6 months now.
And about how many bands would you say have been featured on the program since its inception?
On the radio, I would say a couple of thousand. In the club, we're probably at a couple of hundred because there's 5 bands per night, and we try and have different bands each week. And then the bands get a chance to play on the weekends, to kind of get more exposure. The whole thing is to perpetuate original music in a club that's got a decent sound system. I shouldn't say decent, I should say an excellent sound system and a good atmosphere, and it actually promotes the bands and gives them a chance to, get something out of the efforts that they put in, because it's so tough to be in a band and doing your own material these days.
Have any of the bands gone on to achieve commercial success after having appeared on your program?
Well, there's been several bands that have been on Homegrown in the past. Zebra is one of the bands that made it nationally. Twisted Sister made it nationally. Pat Benatar was on Homegrown. Taylor Dane. Several of these artists, from Long Island started getting a song played on BAB as an unknown. We played a band called Majesty once, and they went on to become Dream Theater.
And how do you select the groups or acts that get to perform as a part of the Homegrown series?
Well, that's a chore. There's a ton of music comes in on a weekly basis. It has to meet a certain criteria. There is, since I've taken it over, that we've widened the gap as to what kind of music we play. We try to stay within the musicality of being rock and roll, folk, blues, hard rock. Nothing extremely, death metal or anything like that, and we're not going to be doing, like techno disco stuff. But to give a wide variety of what's coming out of Long Island, to be truthful to what Homegrown is all about. In addition to that, the two most important things are, A, is its sound quality? Because some guys can write a really good song, but when they recorded it in their garage on their cassette deck, it just came out lousy. Some guys have all this money to do all these great recordings and in a big studio and really can't write a melody. But using that criteria, I can find a lot of good music. And I've had situations where I found music from bands and said, get me another song and I'll play you 2 nights if you have the same, because I feel that every band deserves the same chance. And if BAB's willing to give the airtime to do it, then I'm going to grab the bull by the horns and give the bands the best chance that they have to get exposure.
And today coincides with the 1-year anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, and you all are doing Homegrown as a part of a benefit to raise money for the volunteer firefighters of Farmingdale. Could you tell us why you felt that was important to do this evening?
Well, there was 2 things that really kind of perpetuated this night to turn out the way it was. Number one, Homegrown Live falls on a Wednesday night. So we could either close, and a lot of us felt like by doing that, it's almost like kind of the terrorists win. Everybody's let's just pack up and go home and forget, that we even do this thing. The other angle is we couldn't do it just like we always do it because it wouldn't be respectful. However, it's not a church, it's a rock club. And musical being such a spiritual interpretation, a very interpretive, medium, a lot of bands wrote a lot of music about what happened on 9/11. I was starting to get flooded with it within the first month after. Fish Altieri, the band that played 911 shortly ago, wrote that at 11 o'clock in the morning on 9/11. The music that's coming out needs to get the exposure, and the club and the radio station pulling together saying, we're going to give you the opportunity to give bands exposure. What's the best thing that we can do? Well, let them play their music. Let them play a decent amount of music that people can get a feeling for it. And since we've started it, other people have come in. LongIsland.com, Long Island Entertainment Magazine dedicates 2 pages a month to the events that happen here on Wednesday nights. And we said, why don't we just make the whole night about the music that people made about 9/11 and commune with the rock and roll community and just let them come down? Because not everybody wanted to sit in front of the TV. And not everybody wanted to work all day and feel the media bombarding them through the radio or whatever, angles it came from, and then go home and just try and forget today didn't happen. It's a chance for us to feel our emotions and at the same time have a little fun and bond with each other as friends and musicians.
Yeah. If people want to get involved with Homegrown, what do they do to get involved?
To get involved on the radio aspect of it, you could send a CD to WBAB's Homegrown, care of Fingers, and the address is 555 Sunrise Highway, West Babylon, and it's 11704. You can get that information at WBAB.com, where you can also listen to the music when we play it. It airs Monday through Friday at 11:50. To get involved at the club, you can go to WBAB.com and link under the Homegrown page to the downtown, and that'll give you information on how to get your tape and press kit to the club. But we'd love to have you. I mean, it's all about the music.
That's right. It's all